Hello and welcome to Quiz Class. I'm your host, Ellen, and today we have 100 trivia questions for you. And here are our categories for today. And we are beginning with iconic music. Michael Jackson, known as the King of Pop, was famous for his groundbreaking music videos. What was the name of his iconic video featuring a dance sequence with zombies? Thriller. Elvis Presley, often referred to as the King of Rock and Roll, had a famous house in Memphis. What was it called? Graceland. Aretha Franklin, known as the Queen of Soul, had a signature hit that became an anthem for women's empowerment. What was the title of this song? Respect. Bob Dylan is known for his impactful lyrics and folk music. What was the title of his song that became an anthem for the civil rights movement? Blowin' in the Wind. Which legendary musician famously declared, "I want to be your man," leading to a significant cultural shift in rock music? John Lennon. The Motown sound revolutionized music in the 1960s. Which group is best known for hits like My Girl and Ain't Too Proud to Beg? The Temptations. Which singer-songwriter's album, Blue, is considered one of the greatest albums of all time and features deeply personal lyrics? Joni Mitchell. Which artist is known for pioneering funk music with hits like Super Freak and Give It Up? Rick James. Who was the first woman to win a Grammy Award for Album of the Year, recognized for her influential work in folk music? Carole King. In which city did Motown Records originate, becoming a major force in popular music during the 1960s? Detroit. Who famously sang "I Will Survive," which became an anthem for resilience and empowerment? Gloria Gaynor. Which influential band is credited with popularizing psychedelic rock with their album The Piper at the Gates of Dawn? Pink Floyd. What was the name of Elvis Presley's manager who played a significant role in shaping his career? Colonel Tom Parker. Who was known as the First Lady of country music and had hits like Coal Miner's Daughter? Loretta Lynn. Who was the first woman to win a Grammy Award for Album of the Year? Judy Garland. What song by Simon and Garfunkel became associated with themes of disillusionment and urban life during the 1960s? The Sound of Silence. Which band is known for their innovative use of synthesizers in hits like Cars and We Are Glass during the late 1970s and early 1980s? Gary Newman. Which artist's performance at Live Aid in 1985 is often regarded as one of the greatest live performances in rock history? Queen. Who was known as the godfather of punk and led bands like the Stooges? Iggy Pop. Who is often referred to as the High Priestess of Soul due to her powerful voice and socially conscious lyrics? Nina Simone. And let's move over to cinematic milestones for question 21. Which film noir classic features Humphrey Bogart as private detective Sam Spade? The Maltese Falcon. Which Alfred Hitchcock thriller features a man wrongly accused of being a spy? North by Northwest. What is the name of the fictional country where the bridge on the River Kwai is set? Burma. In The Blob, what unusual color is the alien creature? Red. Which classic Western features Glenn Ford as a rancher escorting a captured outlaw? "3:10 to Yuma." In The King and I, what is the occupation of Anna Leonowens? A governess. Which character in Casablanca says the famous line, "Here's looking at you, kid"? Rick Blaine. Which John Ford Western stars John Wayne as Ethan Edwards? The Searchers. In Harvey, what type of creature is Harvey? An invisible rabbit. What is the name of the samurai leader in Akira Kurosawa's Seven Samurai? Kanbei Shimada. In Citizen Kane, what is the meaning of Kane's last word, rosebud? Childhood sled. Which Tennessee Williams play was adapted into a film starring Marlon Brando and Vivien Leigh? Streetcar Named Desire. In Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho, what is the name of the motel? Bates Motel. Which film features Dustin Hoffman as a naive Texan who becomes a hustler in New York City? Midnight Cowboy. In My Fair Lady, what is Professor Henry Higgins's occupation? A phonetics professor. Which Sam Peckinpah Western features a group of aging outlaws planning one last heist? The Wild Bunch. In All About Eve, what is Eve Harrington's real name? Gertrude Slasinski. Which character in The Godfather says, "I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse"? Vito Corleone. In It's a Wonderful Life, what is the name of the guardian angel? Clarence. In The Graduate, what is the one word of advice given to Benjamin Braddock? Plastics. And let's move over to cultural icons for question 41. Which iconic actress was known for her blonde bombshell image and the famous flying skirt scene? Marilyn Monroe. Which fashion designer is credited with popularizing the miniskirt in the 60s? Mary Quant. What type of pants did Mary Quant help popularize in the 1960s? Hot pants. Who was known as the First Lady of Song and became a jazz icon in the 1940s and 1950s? Ella Fitzgerald. Which French fashion designer launched the iconic New Look in 1947, revolutionizing post-war fashion? Christian Dior. Which First Lady became a style icon in the 1960s, known for her pillbox hats and Chanel suits? Jacqueline Kennedy. Who was the French fashion designer known for creating the Le Smoking tuxedo suit for women in 1966? Yves Saint Laurent. Which British model was nicknamed the face of the 60s and was known for her distinctive doe-eyed look? Twiggy. Who was the iconic actress known for her role in Breakfast at Tiffany's and her humanitarian efforts? Audrey Hepburn. Which influential writer is known for his novel On the Road, which became a defining work of the Beat generation? Jack Kerouac. Which iconic film director is known for his suspenseful films like Psycho and Rear Window? Alfred Hitchcock. Who was the legendary boxer known as the Greatest, famous for his fights and activism? Muhammad Ali. Which actress became famous for her role in The Sound of Music and later starred in Mary Poppins? Julie Andrews. Who was the influential civil rights activist who refused to give up her bus seat, sparking the Montgomery bus boycott? Rosa Parks. What was the name of the famous rock band fronted by Mick Jagger that became synonymous with the counterculture movement of the 1960s? The Rolling Stones. Which influential filmmaker is known for his films such as Easy Rider and The Last Picture Show, capturing the spirit of rebellion in the 1960s? Dennis Hopper. Who was the famous American playwright known for works like Death of a Salesman and A Streetcar Named Desire? Arthur Miller. What was the name of the influential television show hosted by Ed Sullivan that introduced many musical acts to American audiences? The Ed Sullivan Show. Which influential artist is known for his pop art style, including works featuring Campbell's soup cans and Marilyn Monroe? Andy Warhol, who was known as the King of Blues and influenced countless musicians with songs like Sweet Home Chicago. B.B. King. And let's move over to fashion trends for question 61. What was the name of the hat style popularized by Jacqueline Kennedy in the early 1960s? Pillbox hat. What type of footwear became popular with the rise of mod fashion in the 1960s? Go-go boots. Which material became popular for dresses and suits in the 1960s due to its futuristic appearance? PVC. What was the name of the casual pants that became popular for women in the 1950s? Capri pants. Which hairstyle, popularized by Vidal Sassoon, became iconic in the 1960s? Geometric bob. Which fashion trend, popularized in the late 1960s, was associated with the hippie movement? Tie-dye. What was the name of the loose-fitting, colorful dress popular in the late 60s and early 70s? The caftan. Which accessory became popular in the 1960s, often worn with miniskirts? Colored tights. What type of jacket inspired by military wear became fashionable in the 1960s? The Nehru jacket. What type of dress featuring a wrap front and popularized by Diane von Furstenberg became iconic in the 1970s? The wrap dress. Which fashion designer introduced the Le Smoking Tuxedo suit for women in 1966? Yves Saint Laurent. Which accessory, often associated with beatniks and artists, became fashionable in the late 1950s and early 1960s? The beret. What type of coat featuring a double-breasted front and wide lapels was popular in the 1940s and 50s? The trench coat. What type of dress, characterized by a fitted bodice and full skirt, was popular in the 1950s? The New Look dress. Which accessory, often worn with suits, became a symbol of corporate culture in the 1980s? The power tie. What type of neckline, popular in the 1960s and 70s, was named after a sea creature? Cowl neck. Which hairstyle, featuring long hair parted in the middle, was popular among both men and women in the 1970s? The center-parted style. What type of pants featuring a high waist and wide legs became popular in the 1970s? Palazzo pants. Which accessory, often associated with hippie culture, became popular in the late 60s and 70s? Love beads. What type of jacket, often worn over dresses, became popular in the 1950s and 1960s? Bolero. And let's move over to historical events for question 81. Which covert CIA operation, revealed in the 1970s, involved mind control experiments on unwitting U.S. citizens? Project MK-Ultra. What was the name of the Soviet-led invasion of Czechoslovakia in 1968? Operation Danube. What was the code name for the U.S. government's contingency plans in case of a nuclear war? Continuity of government. What was the name of the economic policy introduced by Deng Xiaoping in China, opening up the country to foreign investment? Reform and opening up. What was the name of the U.S. government's secret plan to invade Cuba and overthrow Fidel Castro? Operation Northwoods. What was the name of the Soviet economic planning system that set production goals for the entire economy? Gosplan. What was the name of the U.S. government's secret program to test biological and chemical weapons on its own citizens? Project Shad. Which conflict in Africa lasting from 1967 to 1970 resulted in the attempted secession of Biafra from Nigeria? The Nigerian Civil War. What was the name of the U.S. Air Force's secret study of UFOs from 1952 to 1969? Project Blue Book. Which international agreement signed in 1975 aimed to reduce tensions between the Soviet bloc and the West? The Helsinki Accords. And our last category of our quiz, nostalgic games. Which board game created by sociologist James Cook Brown uses a secret success formula consisting of fame, happiness, and money? Careers. In the game Stratego, what is the highest ranking piece? The Marshal. Which game, originally called La Conquête du Monde, was created by French film director Albert Lamouris? Risk. In the original version of Clue, what was the name of the murdered victim? Dr. Black. What is the objective in the game Chinese Checkers? To move all marbles across the board. Which game, introduced in 1971, involves guessing a secret code of colored pegs? Mastermind. In the game Battleship, how many ships does each player have? Five. In the game Monopoly, what is the name of the railroad in the yellow set? The Reading Railroad. In the game Risk, which continent is worth the most bonus armies? Asia. And our last question. In the game Clue, which room is in the center of the board? The cellar. And for our bonus question, which game, introduced in 1966, involves removing sticks without disturbing the pile? Let us know the answer in the comments, along with how you rank with our quiz class, Einstein Rewards. As always, thanks for playing this quiz. Don't forget to subscribe, and we will see you in our next one. Bye-bye.